Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. So, apparently, it's just getting worse and worse for Kamala Harris. She is plummeting in poly market. Her betting odds and chances in winning this election, people are finally waking up. People are starting to realize, she doesn't really have a chance. Donald Trump is predicted to win all six, seven swing states. You'll see Nevada and Wisconsin, they're tossed up, but they're in favor for Trump. You'll see Nevada is the closest. Donald Trump's leading in that state by 3 to 4 points. I would say 3 points at the max. Looking at Wisconsin, you'll see that Donald Trump's leading by 10 points. Okay? These aren't polls, but these are betting odds that are made by, as you know, analysts and poll analyzers. This is just overall predictions. But let's take a look at all the swing states and where we are at right now. 58% chance of Donald Trump winning the state of Pennsylvania. That is pretty good. Taking a look at North Carolina. Donald Trump has a 64% chance in winning that state. 64% chance. 65 chance. A much higher chance in winning by 1 point for winning in Georgia, even though Georgia, technically much more liberal than North Carolina, is actually a really good sign seeing Georgia and North Carolina cohorsing with one another. Because, believe it or not, I don't know if people updated you about this, but there's no way she's winning North Carolina. Just no way. Numbers aren't looking good in North Carolina. Donald Trump's polling great. He's polling his best in the state of North Carolina than ever before, compared to his 2020 and 2016 races. So she's not winning North Carolina. Forget it. And if that comparison is, of course, if you really make a smart comparison, you'll see that, Georgia, which is polling much higher for Trump, is also predicted to go for Trump also. And I'm saying, you know what? Might as well just go ahead and give Donald Trump Georgia. Take a look at Michigan. Michigan's already polling to go for Donald Trump. 56% to a 44% for Kamala Harris. Looking pretty good. Wisconsin, I don't know why Wisconsin's lower than Michigan, but I would say, you know what? I'm giving Wisconsin a 80% chance it's going for Donald Trump, because the pendulum always swings the other way. I've said this for 2 months now, guys. 2 months I have been preaching and teaching about the pendulum theory, seeing how Wisconsin voted to the right by 6 points in 2012. It then voted to the right by another 6 points or 7 points in 2016. It shifted back to the left, but barely anything, like, I don't know, 1 point, but not even 1 point to the left in 2020. The chances are high that Wisconsin could shift. It's obviously, being in the climate in favor for Republicans, the state could very well shift in favor for Republicans this time around. I would give Donald Trump this state. Taking a look at Arizona, 69% chance of winning, almost 70% chance in carrying the state of Arizona. And that said, Arizona is a state where, you know what, you can take advantage of. All Donald Trump needs to do is, a lot of people look at Maricopa County and says, hey, Trump needs to win that county in order to win the state. Not necessarily, because if Donald Trump could lose the county, he just needs to perform really well in Pima County, which holds Tucson. And if he performs good in Tucson, then guess what? He's going to win the state. So really, Donald Trump can perform anywhere. He just needs to perform a little bit better anywhere around the map. And if he can do that, at least in one area, then guess what? He wins the state. This does make sense why it would be a 70% chance for Donald Trump to win the state of Arizona. But I would give it an 80% chance, knowing that the pendulum swung to Democrats by only, 0.5, 0.3, percentage points there. Looking at Nevada, yes, and we talked about Nevada with just a couple points there. But yes, it's not looking good betting odds-wise for Kamala Harris. 41% chance in winning, 58% chances of winning in Donald Trump. The Democrats will go, oh. But the polls are saying that Kamala Harris is going to beat Trump by 2 points. For example, like taking a look at the forecast here. Yeah, look, Kamala Harris leads by 2.8. This is horrible news for Donald Trump, they say. Well, here's the thing. This is, of course, now they have, look at that, guys. They now have Florida back for Republicans. Like, finally. I don't know why they had Florida as a toss-up. That was just horrible. Horrible move. But this, I agree with this map. I would say keep North Carolina for a toss-up. But yes. Let's see. National polling. Yes, you'll see we're curving here with the latest poll. We got a Rasmussen report giving Donald Trump a 1 point. But yeah, then you'll see we got Kamala Harris leading by 4. Oh, this is so bad. Right before the election. This is a surge. It's just, I find it's very weird, guys. We got to realize, sure, Kamala Harris is doing very well when it comes to polls. I mean, when do Democrats never do well during polls during this season of a presidential election season? Hillary Clinton was good against Donald Trump in the polls. Same deal with Joe Biden. Heck, John Kerry, Al Gore, Bill Clinton. So when do we ever have Democrats not doing good during this time in the polls? When do we ever? But when it comes to the actual things that matter, an example, I'm specifically speaking in regards to the fundraising. Yeah, Kamala's doing great with fundraising. But, that's a big but. She is not doing so well. She's running out of campaign money. Okay? She was not doing what she was back then. Kamala Harris's campaign, much more energetic. Now that Kamala Harris is speaking, though, and we just had a Fox News, of course, interview with Kamala Harris, and I'll tell you, it was bad. It was bad. It wasn't good. Who here thinks it's good? A liberal troll will think it's good. Of course he's going to think it's good. I'm sorry. Them, they. I can't assume their pronouns, right? But, yeah, you know. It was bad. I mean, Kamala Harris interviews are always bad because Kamala Harris can never answer the question because really, she doesn't have an answer to the question because she's going on defense. She's going on filibuster mode. She is trying to filibuster the question and get Americans' minds off of the question and just follow her lips, follow her words. Oh, I grew up as a middle-class American, blah, 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 blah. Like, when are we... I mean, Kamala, half the country is middle class, I believe. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, most of the country is middle class. So if you think all middle-class Americans should come out and vote for you, heck, I don't think we affiliate with class anymore, right? And plus, it was your policies that hurt the middle class. Heck, Kamala Harris got triggered, angry with the, of course, moderator of the debate. Let's see, Fox News interview with Harris. Yes, I mean, she continues to do Trump's fault. In this, let's see, article. Yes, she keeps blaming Trump, and I'm blanking on your name, mister, the guy who hosted the debate. the polls. Okay. We're not going to watch it, of course. Brett Baer. Okay, Brett Baer. Yes, that's your name. So, yes, she got pressed pretty hard by Brett Baer. And then again, she's campaigning on enemy territory. She's going into the lion's den, like we like to believe, like the left wants to remind us. She's going into the lion's den. She has no choice, though. Her running mate, Tim Walz, did a horrible debate. And ever since that debate, she has been going down in the polls. Betting odds are turning against her. And she's losing money. Kamala Harris had to take, I don't know how many $1 million from Milwaukee and put it into Philadelphia. I'm like, if you were really, really doing super well, Kamala, your 2-point lead in the poll, why you wouldn't need to take money from Milwaukee, put into Pennsylvania. Because if you were really leading in Pennsylvania, you wouldn't need to do something so stupid, right? Take money from a state, a compatible state, which is much more compatible than Pennsylvania, and put it into a state that you're probably going to, that has a more chance of going to you than Wisconsin, right? Wisconsin's more tossed up. Well, according to polls, Wisconsin's actually more liberal than Pennsylvania. This is what I'm talking about. There's something fishy about the polls. And I have avoided this whole entire time because I know I will be jumped on. I would be pressed by a bunch of liberals. They'll come to my page again. They'll come to the comment section and they'll give me their good thoughts and they'll show me their good fingers. But I'm going to say it because, guys, it's been 3 months. 3 months of this. And right now, and it's getting even more confusing because Kamala Harris is losing money. She's desperate. She's suddenly doing hundreds of interviews. And she's taking money out of states that are deemed more competitive and putting into states that ideally she would have a much higher chance of winning, like Pennsylvania. So this is what I'm going to say. I think the polls are wrong. I think they're wrong. How dare I? How dare I? I'm an election. I'm a polled and I'm whatever. Because the liberal left has denied the polls at the beginning of the year. The polls are wrong. And suddenly, lo and behold, the polls swing back to Trump. Trump takes back the average in the national polls one day, and it's 3 weeks. Probably last week. Democrats will go back to denying the polls. They are NPCs. They will only accept and praise it if it's in their favor. And if it isn't in their favor, they will go into complete denial. I'm against that. And guess what? I'm in favor for Trump. I want Trump to win. I want Republicans to win. But when Republicans are going to bump into a wall, there's this huge wall in front of us, blocking us from victory, I'm not going to say, we're going to win anyway. That's foolishness. That's pivotal foolishness. If you want to be an analyzer, you want to be into politics, don't do that. You're using liberal talking points. If CNN is saying Kamala Harris is in trouble, then Kamala Harris must really be in trouble. Because what usually happens is when you start taking money out of a state and putting money into another state, it means it's signaling to the country that you're going broke. You are losing so much money so much fast. And out of everyone, you would expect Donald Trump to do this, right? He didn't get to raise a $500 of over $1 billion dollars in a month. He didn't get to do that, right? $1 billion in 1 month. Out of the sudden. And just now, Kamala Harris all that money's gone. All of it is gone. It's ironic. Very interesting. Interesting indeed. So things aren't looking good for Kamala. And she had to go to Fox News. She didn't like Brett Baer. What's her name? Your name again? Am I saying it? Is your Baer? Yeah, Brett Baer. Brett Baer. He had to. Yeah, he answered good questions about Kamala Harris and what she actually and her actual plan. I don't see why we can't play a little bit.
Thank you. It's good to be with you, Brett. You know, voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion.
No, you don't. No, you don't, Kamala. This is just a talking point. Go on.
People want to rightly have, and you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but right do you now, just a number? Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
it's a rough estimate of 6 million people have been released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get you the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration.
Look at her. She's like, you're not in charge of the moderator. Come on. Oh, I was about to answer the question. No, this is what happens to Republicans all the time. MSNBC right here, JD Vance right here. Or how about this? MSNBC and some random Republican trying to get a word of edgewise, but it's either Joy Reid or some other stupid anchor keeps interrupting, injecting left-wing propaganda, saying, you're misinformation. Well, guess what? Brett Baer is the moderator. He wants to continue to add context to his question. Kamala Harris says, no. You're trying to make the question harder for me. Really? Really? So out of the blue, Kamala Harris does not want Baer to continue to add more context to his question. Meaning, Kamala Harris doesn't like that the question is becoming less simplistic. She wanted to answer the question right there. It seemed simplistic. But Brett Baer is adding more context. You'll see. She did something that, you know what, it pretty much tells people, okay, you are nervous. You're on edge. You're unconfident.
I was beginning to answer.
See? She interrupts. She's like, oh, I was going to answer your question, but guess what? Brett Baer wasn't done, Miss Madam Vice President. He actually had more to the question. You just want to answer half the question and say you have answered the question. But that's just one of many of Kamala Harris's ultimate fakenesses. But yes, throughout this said interview, it was just overall just horrible. Okay, and then we're gonna have more ads, and then ultimately, it just got. You'll see going to the end of the interview.
It is also.
I did not give you permission to speak. Near the end of the interview, it went from this
election, and specifically the influx of illegal
to this.
Cartel to people part of my who present people our border with the intent of doing us harm and cross our border illegally, and I will do that work as vice president. I take that work quite seriously.
Aha! They deleted it. Yeah, she didn't. She was just absolutely disgraced because she had to be pulled out after 20 minutes of the interview. We're gonna silence it. Yeah, she had to be pulled out because, yeah, she's not answering any questions. Just absolute train wreck. So, yeah, she would ultimately had to be pulled out. And then you could totally see that she is just, I don't want to say the P word, but the P-I-S-T word. But yeah, she was the P-I-S-T. She was, yeah, that. Like she, she didn't get easy questions, and she's mad that she didn't get easy questions. And she goes, yeah, nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me. Oh, yep, I'm glad you can bring me here. Like, she was straight out, had the resting bee face on, like seriously. And then here comes her team, bring her out. This was supposed to be an hour interview, and this turned out to be 20 minutes. Absolute fail. You compare this to an interview with MSNBC. Way horrible compared to MSNBC. Much bad, right? So, what do you guys think in regards to our analysis today? Let me know down below. And as always, I will see you all in the next political episode.